Hey guys, I want to talk about Alien 3, which is, I think, a great Alien movie. It's really weird because I can't really see where you are. But anyway, I got my alien head on, I got my alien spines on. We just finished watching Alien 3. We're getting ready to watch Alien Romulus tonight. And Alien 3 is just, it gets a bad rap. The reason it gets a bad rap, and it's understandable, is Aliens, you got Newt. You got Hicks, you got Bishop, you got Ripley, and Alien 3 starts by killing 3 of those people that you grew to care about over the first Aliens. So you gotta remember that Hollywood, like back in the day, was just a lot different, and the big thing was they did not want to be derivative. That's what directors were coming in and they were being tasked to not do the same thing. So Alien, what happened with that is basically they went to H.R. Geiger and they're like, hey, what's the most fucked up thing you can think of? And he was like, interracial mouth rape. And they're like, great, make me a monster that epitomizes that. And we got the Alien and the Facehugger, and they made this great psychological horror movie. Then enter James Cameron, they're like, hey, we want to make another Alien movie, but it can't be like Alien. So he made Aliens, he made possibly the best action movie of all time. I think Aliens and Predator jockey for my #1 movie most of the time. And if they're not jockeying for it, it's Army of Darkness or Empire Strikes Back. Those are like the 4 movies that I think are just the best. So that should tell you a lot about me. But anyway, Alien 3, what they did is they got David Fincher. David fucking Fincher to make an Alien movie. How amazing does that sound? If David Fincher was like, hey, I want to make an Alien movie right now, we would all just shit our pants. It would be amazing. But the problem is, back then, this was pre-7. So this was David Fincher that was known from like commercials and stuff. So he didn't have the pull that he has now. And the studio really just kind of got in his way throughout the whole thing. They were like, David Fincher, we're not going to let you be David Fincher. We want you to make Alien, but not the same as Alien, but also don't make Aliens. And what he did is he put together a movie that was very character driven. He was like, let's like really explore these characters. Let's explore some themes of like religion and the penal system. Let's also get some really good actors, like theater actors in, and let's make this character drama, and we'll have this backdrop of this alien stalking them, and we're gonna make the alien different. We're gonna make it like a beast. Like it's gonna be this beast coming through, and it's gonna be this whole like man versus beast brooding thing. And they're like, whatever, David Fincher, we don't give a shit. Just make your movie. So he starts making the movie, and the studio just keeps interfering. David Fincher actually like almost quit filmmaking in its entirety because of Alien 3 and just what a shit show it was. But he put together this movie, and he shot a lot of it. What's really sad about it is he didn't shoot everything he wanted to shoot, but he shot a lot of it. So much so that you can find, I guess it's not actually called the director's cut, it's called the assembly cut. And you can find this assembly cut, and it's basically, it's very close to what he wanted to make, but it's only the footage that was shot. So you get an Alien 3 with much more fleshed out characters. Like the character of Galek is really explored more, and there's just like an interesting part. You also get a kind of a tone down on alien chase scenes. I think one of the biggest things is every time that they showed the cut of Alien 3, what the studio was they were like, we want less characters and more of the alien chasing people. So you just have these ridiculously long chase scenes of this alien who in the theatrical cut, and don't get me wrong, I really actually still like the theatrical cut of Alien 3. I think it's a fun movie. It's just nowhere near as good as the assembly cut. And the big difference, like when you're watching them, you know which is which, apart from it's just better. And basically, the first thing you're going to notice is there's this big scene where they show the sweeping views of the prison. It's established that the prisoners are like having a livestock farm and all this good stuff. But you also see like Ripley like wash up on a beach and all this stuff, and they like find her and whatnot, and that's how you know you're the assembly cut. But also the other big thing is they're establishing that livestock because the alien is actually going to come forth from an ox instead of a dog. The studio, what they didn't like is they couldn't get the Ox to wear the face hugger mask, so they're like, scrap it, it's a dog now. Also, reshoot a bunch of shit, so now there's a dog for some reason. So a lot of the studio involvement you kind of see in these ideas that it's like, why is this a thing? Like, this seems very slapshot and thrown in, like the dog. Anyway, so yeah, David Fincher, he tried to make this movie. The studio kept getting away. They kept cutting the characters. If you just look at the assembled talent and how good the people in Alien 3 are and the performances they're delivering, it's fantastic. Like, the characters are so good. And when you give those characters a chance to breathe like they do in the assembly cut, and probably as they would have done even more so in David Fincher's vision, you get a really cool movie that's like one part, psychological thriller similar to the first Alien, and like another part, kind of David Fincher, this like kind of brooding commentary on society and religion in this movie. And it's really good. It's just fascinating. And you can see those pieces, even in the theatrical cut. You can kind of see what they were going for. And I challenge you to watch it and just pretend you don't know anything about Alien or Aliens. And you're just watching it, because I think everyone just immediately, they put it in, they get butt hurt because that opening kind of thing, they're like, oh yeah, fucking Hicks, Newt, Bishop, gone. I think it was Hicks, actually. There's also Alien 3, like, you should like read the wiki or Google it. There's just so many fascinatingly weird things that happened with it. One, and this happened to a lot of horror movies around the time, and I talked about the derivative thing, is they wanted something different. The big classic example is the Halloween movies. They make Halloween 1, Michael Myers. Halloween 2, Michael Myers. Hey, you know what'd be great? Let's make a Halloween movie without Michael Myers, because he's obviously not what people care about. And they were kind of doing the same thing with Alien, but they thought the problem wasn't the alien. They were like, we don't want it to be Ripley. So they are actually, the first several drafts of Alien 3 were centered on Hicks. And then, one thing led to another, and they were like, no, maybe it's not. Maybe the problem is Hicks, and we should stick with Ripley, and just basically put her in different movies with an alien in the background. Now, to Ripley's credit, one of the great things is Sigourney Weaver really throws herself into the roles, and at different times in the Alien franchise, she's batshit insane. Like Alien Resurrection, she was batshit insane during the filming of that. It was a lot of like the weird ass shit that's in that movie was because she wanted it. But she's such a phenomenal actress, and she throws herself into it so much it kind of doesn't matter. And she still like puts on this performance that you're like, wow, this is amazing, this is captivating. But what the fuck, right? So Alien 3, she threw herself into it. It's great. And you can kind of tell the difference between Sigourney Weaver when she is passionate about it and Sigourney Weaver when she's kind of pissed that she had to come back and do a bunch of reshoots to make the movie worse. And I feel like that's how the entirety of the cast that had to come back for reshoots felt. They're like, are we really adding this and taking out this? We're just making the movie shittier. The guy that plays the prison guard that they call 85, the whole story behind that is he had a really well thought out character, and they're coming in there to he felt like they were ruining it in reshoots, and they were like, oh, you know what? You think we're ruining your character? Guess what? Now you're retarded, and your IQ is 85, and we're gonna call you 85. So that's how they're responding to the cast criticism of the film. But Sigourney Weaver comes back. She had actually shaved her head for Alien 3. So they come back, and there's times where you're like, does Sigourney's head look sort of lumpy? She's in a bad bald cap. And when she's in the bad bald cap, her acting is nowhere near as good. So that's a sad thing. You get a lot less of that in the assembly cut. Unfortunately, the assembly cut, like I said, not everything was shot, so they couldn't make a full, director's cut, of Fincher's vision. But the assembly cut, much closer. Alien comes out of an ox. Interesting thing about that, too, is Geiger felt that they took the alien so far away from his original design, he was mad about it, so he also sued the Alien 3 production to get money for changing the alien into a more of they wanted to be like quadrupedal, but they kind of, because of that lawsuit and stuff with Geiger, sometimes it's not. It's a lot less beast-like than Fincher's vision for it was. What else? Oh, Hicks. They like cameo him. They use some footage. So he was like, hey, no, fuck you, pay me. So they had to pay him for his cameo as much money as he made in Aliens, which is also kind of hilarious. And anyway, David Fincher took a big break from directing and doing anything with film after it because it's such a horrible experience, and he ended up coming back and giving us 7, and 7 is phenomenal. So yeah, Alien 3, the assembly cut, great. I actually put it as my second favorite Aliens movie, and the reason is Aliens is the best. I've already said that. Alien is so good. It's like a perfect movie, but it's not very rewatchable. Like if you think about the first time you saw the chest burster, amazing. The first time you realize Ash is a robot, amazing. But all those things, they're just not as shocking the second time around. And you're like, I kind of know what's coming. There's not a lot really going on. You know, there's Sigourney's really the only fleshed out character. You know, like I want to see more Jonesy Cat. Like let me see the cat. And then in Aliens, you know, phenomenal, great. But Alien 3 has the better characters, and you get these cool moments, and they're not like one and done. I think it's more rewatchable than Alien, so that's why I put Alien 3 a little bit above Alien. But if you've never seen any of the Alien movies, I'd say Aliens, Alien 3. If you're returning to the series, give Alien 3 a chance, and you'll realize it's a really great movie. So anyway, Minky and I are going to watch Romulus tonight, so be on the lookout for that, and you xenomorphs have fun out there.